This is Stephen Alexander from another BSFS. Up, and away! Comic book review. Oh, Superman, why'd you have to crash into my car? Couldn't you hit the neighbors? Being a superhero is never easy. You've got to keep your uniform clean, stay in shape to fit in the uniform, work well with your partners, manage business interests, and maybe capture a villain. A while back, we looked at it from the villain's perspective. Obviously, their math is different from a hero's. So now we look at it from the hero's side. The best/laziest way I went about this was to pick up the Heroes International bundle from Kickstarter. I got these comics, Chest Number 1, Grit vs. Unstoppable, Heroes Ignited, Heroes International, Pinkwing and Prime Controller, The Edge, and The Globalists, and a couple of impressive wallpapers. That's a lot to cover for one show, so I'm only covering the ones you can buy now. Unfortunately, that means I can't cover Pinkwing and Prime Controller because you can only get it on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Oh. Yeah, I know, it's made by Short Fuse Media, but issue number 1 isn't on their site. I don't know what the deal is with that. So anyway, I'll talk about the ones you can buy. Let's start with Grit vs. Unstoppable. Grit is a human-looking alien superhero who's on Earth for a good time and has fallen hard for his partner, who doesn't feel the same way about him that he does about her. She's got a bit of a thing for Unstoppable, who's more of a suave, gentleman-style hero. Grit and Glory fight with Unstoppable to take down a dangerous robot. But Grit is mad and thinks Unstoppable is trying to take his love interest. I like the comedic tension of the comic and a bit of the slapstick nature of it. It reminds me of the old Image comic Invincible to some degree. I didn't like much of the plot. Yeah, the romance was important, but it feels a bit misleading. Glory is clearly interested in Grit, but acts like she isn't, but body flirts with him anyway. We call this a recipe for disaster. I also can't quite figure out the main plot. Because of this, I give Grit vs. Unstoppable an average score of 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next up, let's talk about The Globalists number 1. Set in a world where superheroes have taken over the world, a band of superhumans must fight to free us from their tyranny. So basically, Injustice without the Joker or Harley Quinn. Most of the comic is an alternate history retelling by one of the rebels as he waits to be rescued. But to pull off this rescue, a super called the Individual has to sacrifice himself to keep the heroes occupied. I like this concept. It makes a really dynamic plot and gives the writer a lot to work with. I didn't like it too much because it was published too close to Injustice. Thusly, we get a bit of criticism for being too much like it. I also found it a bit basic in terms of characterizations. Because of this, I recommend this comic to fans who like uncommon interpretations of heroism with a score of 4 out of 5 stars. My fingers are starting to hurt, so I'm giving up by talking about the main event, Heroes International. They are gifted guardians that are also misfits. So, yay! Heroes International used to be a great, but over the course of time, the best heroes left to do their own thing. Newer, less talented heroes took over for them, but haven't quite got the same level of talent as the founders. So basically, they're the post-Jordan Bulls of superheroes. Good luck signing Martian Manhunter with your cap space, Chicago. I like the overall comedic theme and the way new team leader Iron Smith has to manage such a difficult team. I also like the first villain, who was going out of her way to keep her dragons from attacking people, but a few heroes went after them anyway because they just want to fight. I also like the crossover element with Vigilance, a strong black woman who used to be on the team before she got solo adventures to do with, incorporating more of the offer stables into their works. I kind of like that. I didn't like some of the art. I felt it wasn't as engrossing as other comics in the Short Fuse group that were made. While I liked the way they drew Vigilance, I wasn't fond of the artwork for Human or Craig the Dreadlocks guy. I also don't get why the team got short-shifted if they're supposed to be the first response team. You wouldn't put crackheads on SEAL Team 6, would you? Well, okay, Donald Trump Jr. would, but he's an idiot who wants to be Uday Hussein. Anyway, I give this book a hopeful investment of 4 out of 5 stars. Let's see them turn this team around and bring it back to glory. Got any ideas, suggestions, or works for me to review? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Since it's hurricane season, I recommend buying everything from Short Fuse Media that you like before the power goes out. And while you're doing that, I'll read Nadine's Bible, Book 1. That's my job this summer, to find things for you to read while the hurricane passes overhead.